Growing up in the 90s, I was obsessed with Thomas. Introduced to it at an early age, books, Ertls, VHSs, I was into anything to do with the little blue tank engine. Fast forward 33 years later, and I'm still obsessed with the first 5 seasons I grew up with, but you know what else I'm obsessed with? Horror. Whilst you could find me watching Thomas when I was 7 or 8, after that had finished you'd probably see me watching Jaws, my favourite film and the best film ever made. Fight me for it. Somehow the two just went hand in hand, and clearly the showrunners knew this, hence why as the seasons went on, spooky episodes crept in every once in a while. Now, you can imagine my excitement on the 5th of October 1998 when the latest VHS was released to add to my collection, Spooks and Surprises, the dedicated spooky themed VHS for UK home release. And I loved it, genuinely loved it. As the front of the cover said, brand new episodes, brand new characters, first time on video. Yes. Fast forward to now, and do I still love it? Nah. Don't get me wrong, it's still classic Thomas at its best, of course I do. I just can't help but feel a little unfulfilled with this release. I mean, where's the chainsaws, the gore, the blood-curdling screams? Sorry, get my passions mixed up a little bit here. Overall, the release just seemed lacking. It wasn't a dedicated spooky compilation I originally thought it was. So for this Halloween, I thought we would take a closer look at this classic UK release, what the highlights are, what the low points are, and what I would change to make this the ultimate spooky Thomas and Friends home media release. So, for context, Spooks Surprises was released in the UK on the 5th of October 1998. Comprising of all season 5 episodes, some of which had not been broadcast at the time. Having a runtime of 53 minutes, the mix of episodes range from the classic spooky episodes we love to surprise episodes, which personally I feel could literally mean anything. All episodes being narrated by the legendary Michael Angelis. The box itself was a major attraction to the release, and for the most part the design seems to have had some thought put into it. Thomas is of course dead centre of the art, and straight to the left is the iconic shot of the little engine that falls off the bridge from Duncan Gets Spooked. The scene of Henry and Edward in the shed from Haunted Henry is just below it. Below that you have another iconic scene again from Duncan Gets Spooked, with Duncan scared of the ghost in the shed with his driver. The other side includes clips from Surprises episodes with the horrid lorry stuck on the crossing at the bottom. And then, well, that's just where it gets lazy. The other 2 images are from Crash in Trust Thomas, there's a shot of Cranky from Cranky Bugs, and a completely random image of Harold the helicopter and the windmill. Why? Trust Thomas and Cranky Bugs aren't even on this tape. This is why this tape confuses me. It's almost like they decided to include some absolute best episodes and then included some of the less popular ones no one would buy a tape solely for. But with that, let's get into the episodes. So we're kicking things off with Horrid Lorry, which I'll admit is a solid episode, but not really spooky. As the story goes, 3 lorries arrive on Sodor one day, rude and cocky to the engines. They slowly start to outcompete them until it is then realised that they're not actually that reliable, with each of them getting smashed, broken and sunk. This one is such a classic and easily one of the most memorable of the season, and I'd love to know how the hell that driver survived that fall. As a surprise, this one deserves to be on here, as it certainly is for Toby and the gang, but our ultimate spooky list, this one's going. Well, yeah, I think the purpose of this one being one of the surprise episodes is purely for the fact of the reveal at the end of the episode, where we find out it's the Fat Controller's mother. That's it. Now, I could think of a number of episodes that would have been more of a surprise than this one, and easily the least memorable episode in the season. Gordon won't start one day, it's blamed on gremlins, Thomas meets Topham's mum, takes her to Gordon, there's the whole thing with the dog, and then that's it. I mean, I don't think I have anything more to say on this one. This just goes off the tape.
It was a moonlit night and Henry was working with Edward.
Now we're talking. Haunted Henry, our first spooky episode of the tape. We all know the story. Edward tells Henry one night about the mist and the hoot of the owl. Henry's scheduled to take some goods to the old station. Why? For plot progression, that's why. Suddenly the mist rolls in and Edward's predicted. There's a sign, the red signal, the coat and the lights in the old station. It's all good stuff. Returning the second time, it all happens again, except the gate closes in front of us, there's a figure on the platform, and pretty decent crash at the end with the viaduct. Of course it's just old Bailey the Fogman. They open the station, and everyone lives happily ever after. Now what Season 5 did so well was playing with atmosphere. Let the things build up, and this one is just perfect to that. The tone is set straight away with the owl, and then the episode plays out in 2 acts. We get half a reveal, and then we get the full reveal. Genius stuff for a kids show. Haunted Henry is staying on this tape. Now again, another fantastic episode, and you know this one is staying on here. One day the Fat Controller and his kids are at the beach building castles. The kids say they've seen one, so the venture begins. Heading down an old part of the island, they first discover the castle before heading to the mine. The Fat Controller decides he wants to open both, and so Toby is left on guard for the night. Straight away this one has an atmosphere of the landscape of the mine, the scattered remains of old engines lost and abandoned, and forgotten tracks of the little engines. Whilst on guard, Toby is reminded of the old warrior legend Thomas told him about, and hears a wish. After inspecting the sound, it then turns out to be Bertram, who's named the old warrior, and the mine is reopened. It's the sense of the unknown, the abandoned and forgotten that makes this one spooky and memorable to the point that everyone remembers a nothing character like Bertram, so yeah, this one's staying. Now for me, Thomas and the Rumours is just another Things Just Happened episode. Thomas is working one day, sees the children, finds out about the playground, everyone gets concerned that Harold's flying around looking to replace them, Percy mentions sheep, Gordon crashes, then the new playground is built. Really, the episode is fine, it's just all I can say about it, and I don't think the new playground warrants the surprise element on this list, so this one is gone. Now this one, I'll admit, deserves to be on this tape for a surprise at least. I mean, it's kind of in the name. The Surprise for Percy is a short story about him being bored one day working in the coal mines. He wishes something surprising would happen, and it does. The truck breaks free, Top and Bertie joining the race, and yeah, it's a classic runaway story. I really enjoy this episode, it gets straight to the point, and who doesn't love a good chase sequence? But for a spooky tape, it's off this list. Well, this one has been analysed to death, but screw it, I'm going to do it too. Duncan Gets Spooked follows the story of Duncan teasing Pete and Sam. Rusty is pissed, so decides to tell Duncan a story about the lost engine, and we literally see it die on screen. Duncan doesn't believe it until his drivers play a trick on him by throwing a rock into the ravine below when he sees fireflies taking the shape of an engine. Now this one is Spooky Thomas at its peak. Some of the visuals are rather eerie for this show. The shot of the bridge with the mist rising, the engine plunging into the murky misty waters, and we actually see it dying on screen. I remember watching this as a kid and generally feeling upset for the engine. But it's what's not said that makes this one. Did Duncan see the engine's ghost? Was Rusty's story true? It's the doubt that makes this one, the slight possibility that the story was true, that makes this one of the greats, and you know this is staying on here. Now this one is one of my personal favourites from Season 5. It's a great wintry episode, but a complete random entry on this tape. Rusty and Thomas are clearing snow from the tunnels when Rusty tells Thomas a story about Skarloey working in the quarry one day. There is an accident with the winch and the trucks break loose, causing an avalanche and burying Skarloey. Eventually he is rescued, and it's concluded that the snow could be worse for Thomas and Rusty. Then Gordon randomly shows up with the prop we never see again. Overall, it's a good episode. I personally love it when the narrow gauge characters interact with the big engines, but I don't feel this one belongs here, so it's gone. And finally we have Rusty and the Boulder, a rather controversial episode within the Thomas fandom. This one seems to be you either love it or you hate it. I mean, it's pretty much Indiana Jones, but with trains. In short, there's a large boulder high on top of the mountain. Rusty is wary of it, thinking the boulder is alive. Bumper drills into the side of the mountain, knocking it loose, and a whole epic chase sequence starts with Rusty, Skarloey, then Rheneas, and finally exploding for some complete random reason next to Percy. Now on the whole, you would think that doesn't sound very creepy, and you're right. What makes this one creepy is the questions left behind at the end. Was Rusty right? Is the boulder conscious? Aware? Michael Angelis has to get a shout out for this one as well. The delivery of that last line in the episode is just pure perfection, and it's left open to the audience to make up their own minds. Ooh, and the creepy as hell face on the boulder at the end definitely stays on this tape.
Rusty is sure that on a clear night it is gazing up at the mountain and that its sighs are being carried on the wind to where it once used to stand, proud and silent. I wonder if Rusty is right, don't you?
And that's the titles on this list. A pretty mixed bag, but as stated earlier, I feel some of the duds of the season were thrown amongst the greats so they could get them out on home media somehow. I have a lot of fond memories of this VHS and do still love it, but the UK has never had a purely spooky themed release on VHS, so here's what I would change. Now if we're looking at changing the list, then we will have to keep the running time and total number of episodes the same here. In total, I would change 5 episodes from this list, and they are Snow, The Surprise of Percy, Thomas and the Gremlins, Gordon and the Gremlin, and Horrid Laurie. So that leaves us with Haunted Henry, Duncan Gets Spooked, Rusty and the Boulder, and Toby's Discovery. Now we're going to have to change the theme of the tape, bearing in mind this is purely season 5 episodes, but we're going to break that rule, and so here are the 5 episodes from the classic seasons I would put in their place.
And every year on the date of the accident, it runs again as a warning to others, plunging into the gap, shrieking like a lost soul.
Of course, this one was going to be on here. It's the first episode to play with darker tones in the show, and it's pretty much the reason everyone likes dark themes in Thomas in the first place. A pure classic. Even if it's not one of your favourites, this one goes in alone purely on the absolute incredible chilling theme Mike and Junior created for it. Pure horror at its finest. I think there isn't pretty much a kid out there that in the 90s saw this episode and got instantly freaked out by the dragon. That shot of it right there is the reason. The music is quite different from the show, playing with haunting yet oriental tones, and the whole sequence of it rushing past Percy is a pretty spooky scene. Absolute cinema. Now this is one I am highly surprised that didn't end up on this tape when it first released. It is a season 5 episode after all, but no, Gordon and the Gremlin deserves to be on here instead. Sure. An absolute classic of the golden era, this one really played into dark tones, portraying the idea that Stepney is literally about to get executed by Harry and Bert. These two random, menacing diesels who we've never seen before just turn up and wheel him off to his demise. It's really dark stuff. Now that's pretty much all the spooky episodes of the first 5 seasons, but we still have to stick to 9 episodes, and I think this one deserves a spot on the list. Escape plays again with the concept of death, the fact that Oliver is lined up for the Cutter's torch. It's pretty dark stuff for a kids show. The suspense building up as the escape begins, helped along with arguably one of the best themes of the entire show. And just the overall presence of the episode, the mysterious dark part of the island only the diesels go. Escape, I think, plays with spooky tones far more than it's given credit for. Now, I really toyed with the last episode for this list, but in the end I ended up with Grandpuff. Now, although it may not play with spooky tones like the other episodes do, it certainly plays with darker tones in general. I mean, we literally see an engine turned into a generator. I mean, that's pretty messed up. We also see an engine locked in a shed and just left for the earth to grow around him, and presumably Smudger's dead. as he's literally never mentioned again. The more you look at this episode, it's really quite a dark one. And so there's my list in what I would call the definitive spooky VHS release for the classic era of the show. Now bear in mind, this is just my opinion on what should be on here, and I would love to know in the comments below what you would put on it. Would you replace any? Let me know your list below. Although, if this was an actual release, you all know you'd buy it. It really is a shame the UK never got a proper spooky themed release, unlike the US, which got Spills and Chills, which comprised entirely of spooky themed episodes and Lady Hat's birthday party for some weird reason. But yeah, that's been my completely overanalyzed view on a Spooks and Surprise VHS. I really hope you've enjoyed listening to a nerd ramble on about a videotape for however long this went on for. This was purely to celebrate 1 million views on the channel, and honestly it means so much, so whether you're a new viewer or you've been here since the beginning, thank you. Don't forget to leave your lists, like I said, that you would put together of the ultimate spooky home media release. I look forward to reading them in the comments below. Thanks again, and I shall see you in the next one. Happy Halloween!